Well, volatility in global markets continued as US indices fell in trade on Thursday. When we look at how the situation in Ukraine is developing, well, it seems that it's deteriorating rapidly, with reports of shelling in cities having intensified. And that meant that US indices closed lower in trade yesterday. In fact, the Dow in the better part of the day was in the green, closed the day around 1/3% lower and is down. And in fact, even the S&P 500 is down over 0.5% in trade yesterday and is now down exactly 0.5% for the week. So not good cues coming out. Both the Dow and the S&P 500 have been down for 5 out of the last 8 trading sessions. Last couple of weeks have been quite a whipsaw, with indices going in the green and in the red quite sharply. The Nasdaq though was down over 1.5% in trade yesterday and has closed in the red in 4 out of the last 8 sessions. When we look at how Europe is developing, well, European markets also closed strongly lower on Thursday after rising on Wednesday. So the whipsaw continues even in Europe. The DAX has now declined in 10 out of the last 12 trading sessions when we look at it. And in fact, the DAX was down over 2% in trade yesterday as well. The FTSE also down over 2.5% and the Stock 600 down also 2% plus in trade yesterday. When we look at Asian indices, well, yesterday they were marginally in the green. However, they reversed all those gains and they've moved into the red and deep into the red. When we are looking at it, the Nikkei is down over 2%, so is the Hang Seng. The ASX 200 is down almost 1% and the Kospi is down over 1% as we speak. And when we look at how the SGX Nifty is doing, well, the SGX Nifty is down around 1.3% as we speak. It was further lower in early trade today. It was down over 2% in early trade, but it's kind of tempered off. And when we look at US stock futures as well as another indication of how we are looking at market opening today in India at least, well, the Dow is down. The Dow futures are down over 0.5% and the Nasdaq futures are down around 0.4% in early trade today. So a negative cue definitely, but more tempered than what we were seeing maybe a couple of hours back in terms of how the futures were moving. Moving quickly on to commodities. Commodities have been in focus with oil now very close to that $110 a barrel mark. But let's have a look at what happened to oil yesterday. Oil rose to its highest level since 2008 with WTI rising to $116, with Brent rising almost to $120 a barrel before tempering off. Currently, of course, oil at around $110 a barrel and Brent close to that $113 a barrel mark. And when we look at gold, well, gold is certainly gaining well. It's at around the $1,940 an ounce mark, steady and stable at the moment, just how gold is supposed to be during these times. Moving quickly on to how currencies are looking, the dollar index breached the 98 mark in early trade today. So clearly the dollar gaining run on the currency is definitely going to be a problem even for India, given the higher oil prices plus the dollar index strength. So both these fronts is definitely a concern for India. Bond yields though have sunk marginally with the US 10-year treasury yields just above that 1.77% mark in early trade today. Cryptos though, Bitcoin has fallen 5% and cryptos in general have seen a tank at the moment, and Bitcoin is around the US dollar 41,000 mark. That's a roundup of how we're looking at global cues as well as how indices are expected to open in early trade today.